for a tough option, Subramanian Swamy of the Janata Party, not for going tough, Mustafa Kamal of the National Conference, for being tougher, Colonel Anil Kaul, for a status quo, Hilal Ahmed War of the People's Political Party. For a tougher option is General D.B. Shekatkar, and against a tougher option is Nizamuddin Bhatt of the PDP, who's in our studios in Srinagar. I'd first like to go across to Dr. Mustafa Kamal and Subramanian Swamy to open the debate on the news hour tonight. Dr. Mustafa Kamal, my first question to you is this, that unfortunately political parties don't learn lessons from the immediate past. I remember that amidst a terrorist strike, the Jammu and Kashmir government, your government, removed security pickets, CRPF pickets from Srinagar. And even in this month, your state home minister has been saying that your government wants to remove and relocate security pickets and bunkers across Srinagar city and its peripheries. Can you afford to do something like that despite what has happened today? Or has this incident opened you up to the reality on the ground?
Well, as far as I am concerned, this question should be posed to the government.
But you are the government.
With regard to today's, well, yes, my party heads the coalition government that is in the state of National Conference and the Congress Party. Well, all said, this daring attack, that too in broad daylight, in the outskirts of Srinagar city, and that too on an army convoy, has come after a long lull. It is not unexpected. We all know, the nation knows, the people of J&K state know in particular that this is a proxy war. These incidents have happened in the past, will continue to happen in future, till its root cause is not addressed.
So this is
let us not forget.
Sir, you are deflecting the question.
Let us not forget.
You are deflecting the question.
No, all right. It is part.
You are deflecting.
It is part of it. Let me speak. If you don't like what I say, tell me so. Number one. Number two, as far as removal of bunkers is concerned, kindly remember 2011, 2012, and 2013. 3 years have been good for us. With regard to the pilgrims that visit Amarnath.
Sir, you are not being realistic.
The pilgrims that visit Vaishnav. 1 minute, please. And the tourists that have been coming to us for the last 3 years. The dividends of peace should go to the people.
Is this the dividend of peace? Are the pictures that are on television today, Mr. Mustafa Kamal, the dividend of peace? You know, 1 second, in March 2013, we saw the other incident in which 5 CRPF men were killed, which highlighted your state government's ridiculous order that does not permit CRPF men to carry weapons. The CRPF men in Kashmir are stationed there for a reason. They are not traffic policemen.
You are quoting it wrongly. You are quoting it wrongly. As far as the CRPF is concerned, or deployment of police in a civilian area, whether it's a town or a village, part of the force is armed, part is unarmed. That has been made clear by the police, by the DGP police. No police force is in the field that doesn't have an armed cover. You can't give arms to every policeman. That has been made clear by the police.
Mr. Mustafa Kamal.
And as far as bunkers are concerned, don't blame it.
Mr. Mustafa Kamal, you are factually wrong, sir.
We have to move.
You are factually wrong, sir.
We have to take cautious steps towards peace.
Sir, you are wrong, sir,
factually. I'm not factually wrong.
Sir, you are wrong.
You are biased.
Sir, you are wrong and I am not biased. I'll tell you the fact. The fact of the matter is this. Out of 25,000, I'd like to go to Subramanian Swamy on this text, because I think the time has come. The time has, Mr. Mustafa Kamal, the time has come, hasn't it, for the people of this country to ask themselves whether they want their security forces to be sitting ducks in Srinagar. And why I said you are factually wrong is this, because out of the 25,000 CRPF personnel deployed in Srinagar, only 8,300 of them, which is roughly 1 out of every 3, are mandated to carry weapons. And Mr. Mustafa Kamal, I'd like you to jog your memory and remember that only 1 out of the 5 CRPF personnel killed and 5 out of the 15 personnel who were first to be injured in the Srinagar terrorist attack outside their camp were carrying weapons. The moral of the story, Mr. Mustafa Kamal, is this: you're unarmed and you don't have the powers, and you're not allowed to carry out an onslaught, counter onslaught, you will be sitting targets. And I do not think these are traffic policemen. On the terrorists, Mr. Mustafa Kamal, not on the people.
On a handful of militants? You want to let loose the army on a handful of militants?
And you want the security forces, you want the pickets to be taken off? You want them to walk around unarmed like traffic policemen?
22 years.
Well, I'd like to get Subramanian Swamy in at this stage. Well, Mr. Subramanian Swamy, your take on the lessons of this, and also Mr. Mustafa Kamal's opening remarks, if you'd like to respond to him directly, please.
Well, he is in a defensive position, so I really sympathize with him. But the two factors have now to be understood as far as the Kashmir situation is concerned. One is that now we have a Taliban-compliant government in Pakistan. And yesterday, the Taliban actually killed a few Chinese tourists in, I think, in POK. And there's going to be more and more of this violence coming from Pakistan because Taliban has got his mind very clear, and there will be more attacks to come. The second thing is that I had a party meeting in Srinagar on the 22nd of May, and I found from whatever sample that party represented, that people are a little confused as to what India is finally going to do, because they say that the terrorist propaganda is that India gave Pakistan after saying no, 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 and that sooner or later they will give up Kashmir also after saying no, no, no. So somewhere we have to decide, are we going to keep the whole of Kashmir with us and pay any price for it? And if that is so, I don't think the present Umar Abdullah government can discharge its responsibilities according to the Indian Constitution, and we need at least 5 years of president's rule in Srinagar to set everything right.
Is that the only alternative? Let's get it. Nizamuddin Bhatt and Hilal Ahmad War. My question to both these gentlemen is, first, if you'd like to respond to the fairly controversial remarks of Subramanian Swamy. But more than that, more than just respond to him, Nizamuddin Bhatt and Hilal Ahmad War, my question to you is, 23 Kashmiri Pandits were massacred at Wandama outside Srinagar before I.K. Gujral's visit, 98. Abdul Ghani Lot was shot in broad daylight at a public rally when Vajpayee was on a visit to the state, 2002. Right? Javed Shah, ex-MLA, was killed when Vajpayee was chairing the Interstate Council meeting, August 2003. Suicide attack in Srinagar when Manmohan Singh was out to flag off a bus service, April 2005. And now, before Manmohan Singh is to visit the state, you have this huge attack on an army convoy. This is not the first time. But what it tells us, Nizamuddin Bhatt and Hilal Ahmad War, and I'd like you to contradict me with any facts if you can, is that we are back to 2005, the cycle of violence of 2003, and what we saw in 1998. Even so, do you want the security forces to roam around like traffic policemen? Would you like to do that? And if so, why?
Mr. Arnav, should I respond?
Yes, please. Either of
you,
sir.
Should I respond, or you want Hilal to respond?
Well, I'd like both of you to respond, please, to me, and then I'd like to get in General Shekatkar and Colonel Kaur.
Both can't talk together.
Let me respond, sir. These occurrences, these are the symptoms of the disease, basic disease, which is the Kashmir problem. If you are going to delay the settlement of the Kashmir dispute for a long time, these occurrences are bound to occur, sir. The gun for Kashmir is not a daily food, but it is a bitter medicine towards the treatment of the disease. Disease is nothing but the Kashmir problem. Once the government of India will take the concrete and the honest steps to resolve the Kashmir dispute, the gun will automatically disappear from the Kashmir.
Really?
The lingering Kashmir dispute will strengthen the armed and unarmed freedom fighters in Kashmir.
Who is the freedom fighter here? Who's the freedom fighter here?
We are the freedom fighter. Sheikhullah was once upon a time freedom fighter before going for the Indian.
You said armed and unarmed freedom fighters. Who's the armed freedom fighter?
Yes, I am.
The Hizbul Mujahideen are freedom fighters?
Freedom fighter. Bhagat Singh.
The Hizbul Mujahideen are freedom fighters?
Like the Bhagat Singh was a freedom fighter.
Is the Hizbul Mujahideen freedom fighters? Don't make a comparison between a national hero and a terrorist. Is the Hizbul Mujahideen, is Syed Salahuddin a freedom fighter? You see, the problem is this. You see, the problem is this. You see, the problem is this, Mr. Hilal Ahmad War. The problem is this, is that you lack the courage, and I'm sorry to be direct. You lack the courage.
No, you lack the courage. You are acting like a Veer Savarkar of the Indian history. I think if I am not wrong, you are the incarnation of the Veer Savarkar. You are acting like a Hindu Mahasabha chief. You are acting as a warmonger there. Why don't you act as a journalist and listen to us people who are problem?
Mr. War,
you are keeping the more than a billion people of India hostage to the Kashmir dispute.
All this, yes, and let me tell you one thing, Mr. Hilal Ahmad War. I presume you are an Indian, and so am I. And if I'm asking you about,
I am not. I'm a Kashmiri. I'm a de facto citizen of India, not the de jure. I want the de jure citizenship. That's what my fight is all about. I'm not Indian at all. Well, I'm a Kashmiri. According to the Section 7B Part 2,
Mr. War, you see, the problem with you, Mr. War, is the problem with you, Mr. War, the problem with you and your ilk of separatists, Mr. War, is that you want all the benefits of living in the great democracy called India.
We don't want
and
anybody.
You also, one second, please, Mr. War, allow me to speak, please. Mr. War, please.
And enjoy your life.
And you want to confuse your shallow rhetoric with the facts. And you think today that just because you lack the courage to say anything against Syed Salahuddin, and you sincerely have no courage to speak against Syed Salahuddin, Mr. War.
He was my friend.
Huh?
No, even I am thinking of the options.
Mr. War, you are exposing yourself.
I was working in an American company. I am educated youth. I have written 2 books, 3 books. My publisher is from New Delhi. But I am thinking of the options.
Precisely.
We are not being given.
Precisely. You see, the problem with you, Mr. War, is... The problem with you, Mr. War, is... One second, please. Mr. War, please do not forget that in May 2002, and don't force me to raise my voice, that senior Hurriyat leader Abdul Ghani Lone was killed by the Pakistan-backed groups. And just because you don't have the courage to speak against them, don't tell me where your publisher is, Mr. War, because that is precisely the point that I made. For you, terrorism is an industry. For the people of this country, terrorism is not an industry. And no amount of your cursing the nation that you belong to will change the facts, Mr. War. So answer the question and face the facts tonight. And do not do politics over blood. Do not do politics over blood. I'd like to go across to General Anil Kaul because Mr. War, you know something, Mr. War. If you have the courage, then tonight I want you, Mr. War, please allow me. I want you, Mr. War.
Don't act as Veer Savarkar.
Mr. War, calm down.
Don't create a war-like situation between India and Pakistan.
Calm down, Mr. War.
If God
calm down, Mr. War.
Between India and Pakistan, India will be the big loser.
Mr. War, you see this...
and it will become the Waterloo for the government of India.
Mr. War, calm down.
You are unnecessary.
I'd like to now go across to...
please, Mr. Arnav, you are a very...
Mr. War, I will ignore any more rubbish that you speak.
This fanatism.
Mr. War, if you can argue intelligently, you are welcome. If you want to indulge in, rhetoric that borders on rubbish, then I will not respond. And if your arguments are based, I am now going to put your mic down, Mr. War, because you are exceeding yourself. And beyond the point, you must understand this, that simply, Mr. War, not having any facts at your disposal, you will expose yourself, Mr. War. Don't expose yourself in the manner that you are. I'd now like to go across to Colonel Anil Kaul. Mr. War, can you have put down your mic for your information, please? Because you seem not to be interested in letting others speak. Right? So, one second. I'd like you to get, just because Mr. Nizamuddin Bhatt is being patient, allow him to speak, please. There are different points of view. In our democracy, you need to be able to express your point of view appropriately. Raising your voice is not the answer, Mr. War. Thank you. Now, I'd like to go to Colonel Anil Kaul and General Shekatkar. General Shekatkar, in the given situation, what is the strategic importance? How should we view the attack which has taken place today? The fact it happened one day before the Prime Minister's visit, and also the fact that it's happened in Hyderpura and Srinagar, on the back of Bamiyan a few months back.
Yes, Mr. Goswami, I'm glad you made this point. You started with the point that whenever there is a visit by the Prime Minister or the President or high dignitaries to Kashmir or elsewhere, these people create a point. They knew it. In fact, this evening when I spoke to somebody in Kashmir, he also stays in Hyderpura, for your information. I asked him, is so-and-so responsible for this? He told me, how do you know about it? I said, this is my guesswork. These people, and they are the one who have instigated this violence. Actually, this attack was to be held yesterday. There are two reasons for it. The Secretary of States of the United States of America is in India. We had a discussion this morning. Tomorrow our Prime Minister is going to open a rail link. Thirdly, very important one, just after 3 days, the Amarnath Yatra is going to start.
Yes.
And some people, day before yesterday, said, no, there is no danger. This is an indirect method of giving a message to India that you cannot come into Kashmir. We will decide. Just the Chief Minister himself said, I don't think there is any threat. So where have these people come from? They were staying in Hyderpura. Even tonight they are there. That car which has come, it is known to people there. And I know I am speaking to a channel like yours, and I know the responsibility. These people have orchestrated this complete attack. Just 2 days back, in Srinagar, they killed their own policemen. They were not from outside. My request is, I think we are giving too much to these people for no rhyme or reason. Secondly, my request to you, and through you is to the nation, I hope the people are watching, noise is no substitute for intellectual contents. You cannot substitute by noise. My request to you is, kindly when you call these people on the channel, please, 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 they are doing a great service to themselves and using all sort of words. The gentleman who opened your debate this morning, on this channel, I know I used to meet him in '95. He can say no, he doesn't know me. I know him very well. I know where exactly he was hiding in which went bush. Today he is talking like a fellow. These people have made it a point, they will not, I repeat, not allow the normalcy to come to Kashmir. The day it happens, their role is over. They'll be of no use to anybody. They will not be of any use to their own people. It is for this reason, whenever the militancy has been going down in Kashmir, they will create a problem. I was there, I was commanding a division, for your information. And this gentleman who spoke first time, he was in my area of responsibility. And I know what is his plight. Where was he hiding? And his supporters. I know him fully well.
Where was he hiding?
The moment he was hiding for his own life. And he used to take protection, even that time. And today is giving a lecture and sermon to all people. And they are describing India as a nation of attackers. What sort of people are they? I don't think that is correct on their part. The point you made, what should we do? I think the message should go, enough is enough, and more than enough is not required. We have suffered a lot. I was there in '94, '95, '96 when Kashmir was burning. It was the people who were left on their own. The Kashmiris who claim themselves to be the people of representative today, they had run away from there. All these people who are creating noise, they were not there. The poor people of Kashmir were left on their own at the mercy of the Pakistani people and the terrorists. Thanks to the people of Kashmir, they are there today. And not these few gentlemen who come and keep shouting around here and there. Have you ever heard anything about from these people? Their own brothers who have been sent out of the state? The Kashmiri Pandits? Are they not the citizens of this place? And the gentleman had the audacity to say, I am not an Indian? Then why are you here? Why are you here? Why do you want all the facility from government of India, the nation of this country, nation, and you say you are not the Indian? What sort of people are they? Whom are they talking for? So my request to you is, kindly let the nation know the credential of these people who are talking today. They have done it deliberately. They will be doing it. I am telling you today, another 3 days time there is going to be another attack. If you want to know the area, I can tell you.
No, I think we should, at this point, because I'd say that we should exercise some discretion on that. because the idea is to look for solutions. I don't, Mr. General, you know very well, you've served in the area, you've headed the division. We should not create any panic. The question is to be real, and I completely agree with you, General Shekatkar. There are people in our country, unfortunately, who hold Indian passports and like to abuse their own country. And they want to take all the benefits, financially and otherwise, of being a part of India. They want to enrich themselves through the industry of terrorism. They have huge amounts of money. There are some people who gain from hawala transactions from across the border. And these people build huge houses, lead fancy lifestyles, and they fly business class and first class abroad. And these are the same people who want this industry to be alive. These are selfish people, General Shekatkar, who must be exposed. I completely agree with you on that. And these are the same people who lack the moral or the personal courage to speak out against their masters who fund them from across the border. And these people, being the cowards that they are, should not therefore, you know, be continued to just go unchallenged. I completely agree with you, General Shekatkar. These people must be exposed for whatever it is worth. Subramanian Swamy, I'm just coming back to you. This discussion is going forward. Coming back to you in just a minute. Because I too have strong views against these anti-nationals. General Shekatkar, I make no bones about it. And I think it defiles our medium to have people who just come and say all kinds of things about this country and then take benefits from it. And they also are completely aware they would not have the freedom to do that if they chose to be in the country that they love so much, which is Pakistan. My next question is to Nizamuddin Bhatt, because that's not the subject of discussion. Mr. Bhatt, you know, you are a senior leader of the PDP. Everybody is asking you today that the security presence cannot be reduced in Srinagar. And today's incident has only highlighted that. Would you agree? That you cannot afford to dilute security presence in Srinagar, whatever the political compulsion.
You see, kindly try to understand. You were, earlier when you posed questions, you were enumerating facts. By implication, you were agreeing that there has been a pattern.
Yes.
We don't have to forget that there is a situation which has come up for various reasons. And here is a nation, or here are people who have been facing this situation and trying to wriggle out of it with some dignity and honor. Today's incident is unfortunate. Nobody likes violence. Our party's viewpoint is absolutely clear. We have been consistent in our stand. We don't make noises, we don't play jingoism like the ruling party has been playing. We have to have an honest approach to come out of a situation which is eating at our vitals. We are the worst sufferers in Kashmir. So has been the nation suffering. So are the people across who have been the sufferers of this situation. When you go through people-to-people dialogue or open the pages of peace process, you will come to know.
But Mr. Bhatt, my question is specific. My question is specific. 50 bunkers have been removed or relocated from Srinagar city and its peripheries.
You see, this is...
How can you do that?
The incidents have been happening despite army presence on borders, despite security forces presence in every part of our state, despite efforts being made on economic, political and security level by the government.
Mr. Bhatt.
And this is a big question for us. Not that the situation is potential enough. It poses more challenges and we will have to go for an onslaught.
Mr. Bhatt, you have... please understand.
But that we have to have an understanding of that.
Mr. Bhatt, why don't you accept the reality? In April 2012, as per my information, while a 23-year-old paramilitary picket was being removed from Lal Chowk, which is where all these separatists operate from in uptown Srinagar, at the same time as the CRPF picket was being removed, terrorists were shooting and killing a J&K police officer in Darish Kadal, which is also in downtown Srinagar. You are giving them a message that I will remove the pickets. Why do you want to...
Mr. Arnab, you should know, most parts of the state are not manned by security forces. And no such big incidents happen there.
Why would you...
These incidents have been happening in the city
Mr. Bhatt, the point is,
we don't have to go into that.
Why are you supporting the Omar Abdullah government's policy of reducing security presence in areas like Srinagar?
No, not at all. Omar Saab, with due deference to him, Omar Saab has been playing to galleries. He has never approached with an honest,
Sir, I don't know who's honest and who's not. I want Colonel Call to come in. No, the question is not here the security point of view. So
you have to make the comparison.
So you cannot operate out of political considerations alone. You cannot operate out of political considerations. So you can't operate. So you can't operate out of political considerations alone. I want Colonel Call. So here the other point of view. Colonel Call's response to Nizamuddin Bhatt.
To the government at one score and blame them at the same time with same breath at another score.
So
why don't you make right comparisons?
You have to divorce.
If he is going to give me a chance to speak.
Colonel Call's response to Nizamuddin Bhatt and to Mustafa Kamal.
If he is going to give me a chance to speak, Mr. Bhatt, the question is that for the last 3 years, as specified by Mr. Mustafa Kamal and yourself, the situation has improved because, will you give somebody else a chance? Keep talking without listening to anybody else. For the last 3 years, as you say, things are better. It is not because of you and your people or the politicians who are sitting on this panel. It is because the army has been proactive.
If you say so,
and they have ensured the lives of average citizens are absolutely. Please listen to what I am saying. I never interrupted. I did not interrupt when you spoke. I did not interrupt when you spoke. I did not interrupt when you spoke. Now listen to me. I did not interrupt when you spoke. Now listen to me. You have this habit of talking and carrying on talking your point of view. No, I do. First, listen to me before you make an intervention. Before you make an intervention, listen to what I have to say. The lifeline of the army, the lifeline of the armed forces and the security forces for the protection of your state. I won't say our state because I am no longer a part of that state, thanks to people like you.
Who denies the role of the army or security forces? But don't deny the role of the people, please.
You deny the role of the people who have thrown us out? Sorry, the army is there to ensure 3 things. 1, that communal harmony remains. 2, that the sovereignty of this country does not get hampered, and 3, that the borders are secure. You and your compatriots cannot, by any long shot, do any of these 3 things. Therefore, what has happened today is because of a lack of understanding of what is required to be done.
You can say anything. You
Personally, I am of the view that enough is enough.
Mr. Bhatt, the question is the soft approach will not work.
I am not blaming Kashmiris. I am not blaming Kashmiris. I am blaming you people. No, I am blaming you people who are hand in glove with the terrorists.
Subramanian Swamy.
You are hand in glove with the terrorists. You talk something on television and talk something outside.
Swamy is responding to Nizamuddin Bhatt and Mustafa Kamal now. Subramanian Swamy.
Sorry, I don't buy your argument.
The question is limited.
I don't buy your argument.
The question is limited.
Turn this program.
May I?
Mr. Bhatt, please listen to Subramanian Swamy, please.
May I say that, yes, may I say that there is a fundamental fault line which we have to recognize. When they say Kashmiri, essentially, operationally, they mean Kashmiri Muslims only. Because Kashmiri Pandits have been driven out. The Kashmiri Hindus who want to come from POK to Kashmir, they are not allowed. Therefore, this is an issue that we have to come completely with total frankness. If we want a secular Kashmir and not a Hindu Kashmir or a Muslim Kashmir, then we have to have these parties coming out forth in defending these hapless people who have been driven out and living in refugee camps. I only say this, that the question today for us is, if we regard as the Parliament resolution of 1994 that every inch of Kashmir, including that of POK, is part of India, and Article 1 prohibits any government from giving up even 1 inch of Indian territory, then if you are going to defend it, then I'm afraid you have to take some very drastic action, because for too long all these nuances, these meetings, these delegations, these goody-goody people have completely confused the Kashmiris. You have to tell the Kashmiris this is the line of the government of India, for which, like the Civil War in the United States of Abraham Lincoln, we will pay any price to keep it. But
Mustafa Kamal, last question to it. Will that realism dawn on the Jammu and Kashmir government? Will that realism dawn even after today's attack?
The government is facing the situation for the last 4 years, and has excelled in dealing with the situation as far as law and order is concerned, or security matters are concerned. What I would like to make clear here. Now we are being blamed because we are being blamed for everything that has gone wrong as far as Delhi is concerned. Panditji, let me speak. The people who drove you out are not the Muslims here, neither the party that I belong to. Kindly go back a month ago when the Mani Shankar Iyer came here. He made it very clear. 3 mistakes done by New Delhi was 1953. Then it was dismissal of Dr. Farooq Abdullah in 1984. And sending of Jagmohan was the third in 1990. And he specified Jagmohan facilitated the exodus of Kashmiri Pandits from the valley.
The 3 fundamental errors were 1947, 1947, 1975 and 1994. These were the 3 fundamental mistakes. 1947 going to US,
we are Indians.
1975, the
we are Indians. We are Indians. We are Indians. We are Indians.
We are Indians.
Well, the attacks.
We are Indians. Then behave like Indians.
Kindly, don't have this emotion of hatred in your voice. We are Indians by
I have no emotion of hatred, my dear.
Not by compulsion.
My dear Mustafa Kamal, you were my neighbor at one time. You were my neighbor at one time.
I know.
I grew up next door.
We are not the people who took you out of here. Jagmohan is the person who drove you out from here. You know it. Even your leaders who had the reconciliation return of
Mustafa Kamal and Colonel
Jatinder Bakshi is on record of having said that it was Jagmohan who drove you out, not Muslims of Kashmir.
I'm only short.
Muslims of Kashmir are known for their secular credentials. We don't need to tell you to
But Mustafa Kamal, let me say this, that it is not the people of Kashmir who have attacked that army convoy, it is the terrorists. And why don't you realize these terrorists cannot be dealt with soft hands anymore?
Army seems to be putting its legs into everything.
Well, I don't think so.
I know they are desperate to take over government.
Well, in 2005, the CRPF took control from the BSF for the security of Srinagar. The fact of the matter is the army does not play a role in Srinagar. You know that. And others will ask the question of whether the situation would be different if they did.
Army has got more important things to do than take over control of a ragged state like yours.
I thank my panelists for joining me on this discussion on the News Hour tonight. Thank you.